And hello and welcome to Lessons in Miracles, where every night we study a different lesson in the Course in Miracles. I'm Teri Angel, here with my co-host Karen Palmer. Hi, Karen.
Hi.
And our family here tonight is Charlie Charming Coons
Hello, everyone.
and our Auntie Jean Lorio.
Welcome, everybody.
Thank you for being here. Every night we start out going into our hearts, and Karen leads us in a beautiful meditation. So, Karen, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, so let's just take a moment to close our eyes to all distractions. Let this be a moment where we join. Feel the joining in our heart. Feel the warmth and the embrace of comfort as we just rest. We rest, we restore, and then we radiate. So now this is our time to really fill yourself in this resting space. Feel yourself just being filled up, overflowing with love, overflowing with joy, overflowing with peace, overflowing with harmony, and restore your mind. Feel it being bright and beautiful and light, shining, illuminating the mind so that you have a divine, kind, gentle mind. The whole mind. Feel your mind completely being restored. Letting that beautiful restoration go into every cell, every tissue, every molecule of your body. Feel the mental body, the emotional body, spiritual body, and physical body all being bathed in this light. And now you are the light. You are the light of the world. Allow yourself to radiate that light. Feel it pouring out of your eyes, out of your mouth. Feel it pouring out of your fingertips, out of your toes, so that all that is being witnessed in this instant is light, radiant, eternal light. Feel that and let it be the way that you continue to live in truth, letting go of all denial, letting go of all situations, circumstances, anything that you feel is not as your perfect love. Let that just float away. And let the love that you are, the light that you are, the radiant presence that you are, shine. And gently we'll come back I believe we are reviewing Let Not My Mind Deny. I've been saying that all day. Let not my mind deny the love. Let not my mind deny the love. Because the thought of God to me is love. And so when I think of love and God, it's synonymous. It's always just one. And so let not my mind deny love is how I feel. This whole day has been so simple for me because I just haven't let it. I haven't let it deny. Any denying that wants to come up and anything that wants to be in denial or wants to be a distraction to me, I just have no more interest. It doesn't even get a glimmer of my attention anymore. It's just not even a glimmer of attention anymore. I am so done with denying this. You know, there's no more denying. There's no possible way for me to deny it. So I'd love to hear what you guys think.
Well, today was a rough day for me. I woke up with my physical problems being pretty strong, and so I had a lot to do. And today was my day to cook supper. And I have to be honest, I didn't get around to reading the lesson until later in the afternoon. To be honest, until I had put the supper in. I put the supper in at 3 o'clock in the oven, and I had been telling myself all day, well, I think I just won't make it to the lesson today. I'm just really, I've been struggling with this all day, and I'm really worn out. And Ron went to a party. We were invited to a party, but I can't go because I have to stay home. And you know, and then I said, well, I can still do the lesson. So I sat down and I read the lesson, and here I am. Everything changed after I read the lesson because I realized that sometimes we do that. We say we don't deny him, that he's with us always and that he's part of us. And then we let our ego and little things sneak in and say, oh, okay, we're given to human weaknesses, I guess, ego weaknesses, whatever you want to call it. And so, it's really because I had said, well, everybody is already at that place where they know that all their thoughts are God's thoughts. And, you see, you get your correction when you need it. And so it's a beautiful lesson, and I needed it today. So thank you. Thank you, Spirit.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Auntie Jean. That's so inspirational. And that's what it's all about too, is, we're told over and over again throughout the lessons, don't worry if you don't do the lesson. Don't worry if you don't do exactly what the lesson told you to do. Even if you give it just a couple of seconds of your attention, that's better than nothing. And so, we just have to let that voice for fear just be out of here. No voice for fear, and just pay it no mind, and then keep your focus on what feels good. And when you start to read the lesson, let yourself just enjoy the lesson. Don't beat yourself up for anything ever. That's the whole thing. Is the whole workbook says over and over again, don't judge yourself, don't judge yourself, don't judge yourself. Just do what you can.
Yeah, we're
I
so
think the
harsh.
lessons. I'm
We're so
sorry.
harsh on ourselves. And Jean, I think too, with you being a school teacher in the past, that's part of your mindset of, oh, I didn't do the lesson today, and thinking that, you were bad, or that you missed doing something. But this is a course that is for the rest of our lives. It's not just a lesson or a group of lessons. This is a lifestyle. So if you miss, saying the words, or, reading the thought that was there, just be gentle with yourself and know that, there's no right or wrong. And you're doing the best you can with what you've got. And we're all going to have those off days. We're all going to have
Yeah.
days when we just can't pull those covers back and get out of bed. It happens. So be gentle with yourself.
Auntie Jean, that was me today. So.
Oh, it's
That
you
was you
too.
today. Okay.
Yeah, I just read Pam's one just now. And yeah, they all went to the beach and I just stayed home, and I just was exhausted and couldn't do anything. I got up and took care of the dog and then laid down, went back to bed. And, I don't know, maybe it's the energy or whatever, that's coming in or whatever, but yeah. But dismantling the illusion, there is no disease of the body apart from the mind. As 17065 clear say, the only healing necessary is giving up old beliefs, changing the way I think, feel, and interact with the world. As it in a nutshell.
One thing I wanted to point out that I feel is interesting, and I don't know if it affects other people this way, but as soon as I open the book and I go to read the lesson, it's just like spirit comes in.
Yeah.
It's just like the desire to read this lesson, the desire to feel this love just pours into my body. So to me, these lessons are such a blessing. I don't know if there's anyone out there watching, but boy, if you haven't delved, delved into these lessons, I can't tell you how wonderful they are
That's
and how full of spirit they are. And we definitely need them.
That's the same thing I'll do. I'll put on meditation music and then I'll read the lesson. I usually read it out loud, and then I'll just sit there, quiet, peace for 10 or 15 minutes, and then say my prayers and everything like that. Yeah, it's a good way to get the day started. But usually it's after the day started when I get around to doing it. But
Yeah. And I'm glad you've been coming on the morning show, Charlie. We do meditation. I lead a meditation and prayer at the end of each of those shows every morning. And that is the best way to start the day, is to
right,
just
yeah,
be in your heart.
I missed this morning.
yeah.
You did miss this morning. We didn't have either of our genes this morning.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, there's
Well,
no
it's just
sorry.
it's
We're
just one
having
of
a long
those
day.
days, I go up and down, and
Yeah.
Well, I want to read this message from the Insights.
oh yes,
I am deeply
Love-
grateful to know that the Holy Spirit is always in my mind, ready to lead me home to the heaven of God's love. My only job now is to practice listening to His guidance. In any moment that I feel apprehensive or uncertain, I will use this as a reminder to turn to Him for His guidance and His vision. He will show me with certainty what is truly valuable and show me the valuelessness of the empty images I have mistaken for reality. This is my path to peace and certainty. It is my path to eternal life. It is my path to freedom. The above comments reflect my process as well and help me to articulate it. Sometimes I become discouraged by my apparent lack of progress and forget to see how far I have come. I now see I am experiencing denial of the truth and allowing it to hide God's perfect will for me. I really appreciate the passage from today's lesson that reassures us that sureness is not required, only desire. I tend to forget that and start thinking that because I doubt, I cannot have it. My desire is strong, and with each lesson I do and each small success, it becomes stronger. So I think that's what you were saying, Jean. These lessons, the more we do them, the more we persevere and stick with it, we're going to become stronger in who we are and what we are, and the knowingness that God is always in our mind.
It's true. And the other materials I'm studying, it's so strange. You would think that they were all written with the idea that they're going to back up the Course in Miracles, which is, of course, is outrageous. What it backs up is the truth.
Right.
The truth is the truth, and spirit is spirit. So it's coming from everywhere, but everything's in agreement, and it's magical. I don't know how else to say. It's just magical.
Yeah, it is magical. All right. Well, we've got a good lesson coming up too, Karen.
Yes, this one is lesson 166, and it is I am entrusted with the gifts of God. All things are given you. God's trust in you is limitless. He knows his son. He gives without exception, holding nothing back that can contribute to your happiness. And yet, unless your will is one with his gifts are not received. But what would make you think that there is another will than his? Here is the paradox that underlies the making of the world. This world is not the will of God, and so it is not real. Yet those who think it real must still believe there is another will, and one that leads to opposite effects from those he wills. Impossible indeed, but every mind that looks upon the world and judges it as certain, solid, trustworthy, and true, believes in two creators, or in one, himself alone, but never in one God. The gifts of God are not acceptable to anyone who holds such strange beliefs. He must believe that to accept God's gifts, however evident they may become, however urgently he may be called to claim them as his own, is to be pressed to treachery against him. He must deny their presence, contradict the truth, and suffer to preserve the world that he made. Here is the only home he thinks he knows. Here is the only safety he believes that he can find. Without the world he made, is he an outcast, homeless, and afraid? He does not realize that it is here he is afraid indeed, and homeless too, an outcast wandering so far from home, so long away, that he doesn't even realize that he's forgotten where he came from, where he goes, or even who he really is. Yet, in this lonely, senseless wanderings, God's gifts go with him, all unknown. He cannot lose them. but he can not look at what is given him. He wanders on, aware of the futility he sees about him everywhere, perceiving how his little lot but dwindles as he goes ahead to nowhere. Still he wanders on in misery and poverty, alone though God is with him, and a treasure his so great that everything the world contains is valueless before its magnitude. He seems a sorry figure, weary, worn, in threadbare clothing, and with feet that bleed a little from the rocky road that he walks. No one but has identified with him, for everyone who comes here has pursued the path that he follows and has felt the defeat and hopelessness as he is feeling them. Yet, is he really tragic when you see that he is following the way he chose and need but realize who walks with him and open up to his own treasures to be free? This is your chosen self, the one you made as a replacement for reality. This is the self that you savagely defend against all reason, every evidence and all the witnesses with proof to show this is not you. You heed them not. You go on your appointed way with eyes cast shut, lest you might catch a glimpse of the truth and be released from the self-deception and set yourself free. You cower fearfully, lest you should feel Christ's touch upon your shoulder and perceive his gentle hand directing you to look upon your gifts. How could you then proclaim your poverty and exile? He would make you laugh at the perception of yourself. Where is self-pity then? And what becomes of all the tragedy you sought to make for him, whom God intended only joy? Your ancient fear has come upon you now, and justice has caught up with you at last. Christ's hand has touched your shoulder, and you feel that you are not alone. You even think this miserable self that you thought was you may not be your true identity. Perhaps God's word is truer than your own. Perhaps his gifts to you are real. Perhaps he has not wholly been outwitted by your plan to keep the sun in deep oblivion and go the way you chose without yourself. God's will does not oppose. It merely is. It is not God you have imprisoned in your plan to lose yourself. He doesn't know of this plan. There was a need he did not understand, to which he gave an answer. That is all. And you who have this answer given you have need no more of anything but this. Now do we live, for now we cannot die. The wish for death is answered, and the sight that looked upon it now has been replaced by vision, which perceives that you are not what you pretend to be. One walks with you who gently answers all your fears with this one merciful reply: it is not so. He points to all the gifts that you have each time the thought of poverty oppresses you, and speaks of his companionship when you perceive yourself alone and afraid. Yet he reminds you still of one thing more that you had forgotten, for his touch on you has made you like himself. The gifts you have are not for you alone. What he has come to offer you, you now must learn to give. This is the lesson that his giving holds, for he has saved you from the solitude you sought to make in which to hide from God. He has reminded you of all the gifts that God has given you, and speaks well of what becomes your will when you accept these gifts and recognize that they are your own. The gifts are yours, entrusted to your care, to give to all who chose the lonely road that you have escaped. They do not understand, they but pursue their wishes. It is you who teach them now, for you have learned of Christ. There is another way for them to walk. Teach them by showing them the happiness that comes to those who feel the touch of Christ and recognize God's gifts. Let sorrow not tempt you to be unfaithful to your trust. Your sight will now betray the hopes of those who look to you for their release. Your tears are theirs. If you are sick, you but withhold their healing. What you fear but teaches them that their fears are justified. Your hand becomes the giver of Christ's touch. Your change of mind becomes the proof that who accepts God's gifts can never suffer anything. You are entrusted with the world's release from pain. Betray it not. Become the living proof of what Christ's touch can offer everyone. God has entrusted all his gifts to you. Be witness in your happiness to your transformed, how you transformed the mind becomes, which chooses to accept these gifts and feel the touch of Christ. Such is your mission now, for God entrusts the giving of his gifts to all who have received them. He has shared his joy with you, and now you go to share it with the world.
That is beautiful.
I love that because when we read the whole every day when we read any of these lessons, I'm reminded that Jesus is in charge of time and space. Jesus
Yes,
takes care of all the details and all the illusions and all the bodies that come and go. And all I have to do is just rest back in that truth and accept the gifts that have been given to me and then go out and share them and radiate and give them everywhere. I mean, it's like, how easy is that?
that's it. We've been entrusted with those gifts. I love it. I love this lesson coming up. That's going to be a beautiful discussion tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so fun when when even when something comes up and there's like a question in my mind and I'm thinking, I know what to do about this, that the instant that that comes up that I think I know what to do about this, the first thing comes to my mind is, I do not perceive my own best interest. I don't know what to do. I don't have a clue of what to do with this situation, but I know that it's coming up to be healed in my mind. And so here we go, right?
Yes,
Hi,
absolutely.
Prachetta.
Oh, Prachetta's with us.
She just came in.
We're putting our chanting hats on, so Prachetta, you're just in time.
Perfect
Going
timing.
into chanting for change, and our first chant, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. So, Karen, back to you.
Okay, so this is where we're going to chant 3 times slow, and then we'll chant 108 times all together as our beautiful family. Beautiful Auntie Jean will let us know when we get to that magic number, and then beautiful Teri Angel will lead us in a short meditation on freedom. Then we'll go into our second chant. So we declare that all obstacles be removed. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. We declare that all barriers, conflicts, and violence be removed. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And we declare that all illusions, illness, and allergies be removed. Om Gam Ganapataye Pataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye 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 Namaha.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Let's pause for a moment and take a deep breath into our heart center. Focus on what you feel there, what you feel when you let go. There are no obstacles. There are no barriers. It's all inside of us to get in touch with who we are, to know that there can be nothing standing between us and God. And when we realize that, we see those things that we thought were so monumental, we see them for what they really are. They're illusions that are trying to keep us from our relationship with God. But in chanting Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, we see the reality. We see things falling away that have no substance to them. The only thing that's real is love. And so we're going to celebrate that, and we're going to call in the miracles. And we've already called in Pachetta, and we have our miracle Marlene, who has joined us, and anybody else who's listening in and chanting with us. Thank you for being here. We're going to go to our second chant, the miracle chant. It is Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. So Karen, would you talk about that, please?
Okay, this is where we're going to chant 3 times slow, and then we'll chant 108 times all together as our beautiful family. Beautiful Auntie Jean will let us know when we get to that magic number, and then beautiful Teri Angel will lead us in the next part of our session. So we declare that all are accepting, aligning, allowing, and awake. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. We declare that all are happy and healthy. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. We declare that all live in peace and harmony and are open and ready to receive miracles. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Nam
Nam
Myoho
Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam
Nam
Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam
Nam
Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Nam
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Nam
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Myoho Renge Kyo.
Nam Myoho
Renge
Renge
Kyo, Nam
Nam
Myoho Renge
Myoho
Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo,
Renge
Nam
Kyo.
Myoho Renge Kyo.
Myoho Renge Kyo.
Oh, let's take that breath again into our heart center. Really feel the energy that's in your heart. By chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, it brings us a closer connection. It helps us to understand that we are all just one and we feel the love that's there in our heart. So let's feel that love as we chant Om. Om is the cosmic sound of God. So we're going to chant that together slowly, and then we'll stay in our hearts for just a minute, just loving on ourselves, connecting the heart and the brain. And then we'll love the world by sharing that out and sending it out on a mission. So take a deep breath in, and let's begin the chanting of Om. Om. So now that you have that deep connection, just loving on it, telling it that it's going out on assignment. It's going to find wherever there is no light, wherever there's no hope, and just go and send that energy forth into the world. So we're doing this all together, and we know that where two or more are gathered, that this energy is expanded immensely. So let's all send it after a deep breath in, holding that love in our heart and sending it out into the world, and then letting it go. We don't have to hold on to it. We know that God's in control, and that whoever needs that word, that smile, that touch, it's there. Om Shanti Shanti. Om Peace. Peace, peace. Oh, how beautiful. So every night we make a declaration. And Karen, would you read our declaration and lead us in that tonight?
Absolutely. So every night we make this declaration knowing that there is peace on earth and that that peace begins inside of us. So we'll say it all together. 3, 2, 1. We
We
declare that
that
there
there is
is
That
peace
peace
on
on
earth,
earth,
and we
and we
declare
declare
that peace
that peace
begins
begins
inside of
inside of
us.
us. And so it
and so
is.
it is forever and ever. Amen.
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 And we've been a group that started a movement, and the group is known as
The
Peace for
Lord
Peace
peace.
loves
for Peace. And we've been doing this now for 1,124 days now.
Ooh, awesome.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And that's because we're peace. We know that there are peace all over the earth. We have Terry P here and Karen P and Charlie P, and I'm Auntie Jean P, and we have Perchetta P, and we have Marlene P in the audience. We have our Super P, who is Gracie, and she's not here, but she usually is. So we love you, Gracie. And we have P's in Europe, we have P's in Canada and Australia. We just have P's everywhere. And so, our question to you is, wouldn't you like to be a P too? And that way we can have peace all over the earth.
That's
Peace
right.
for peace.
Peace on earth. I love that.
Love you and be kind.
Be kind. We're missing our little Christine P tonight. But Christine,
No.
we love you so much. And Prachetta said it's already July 1st there in India. And
Yes, it
starting
is.
her new month with her wonderful family. Oh, we love you so much,
Aw.
Prachetta. Yes, I know it's going to be a miracle month as well. And I'm trusting in that and trusting that more peace is coming into our world. We're ready. We are beyond ready for that.
We are ready, aren't we?
Yeah,
We're ready, Freddie.
we are ready. Let's blast off with this month of July, just like the fireworks that go up in the sky. We're going to blast peace up that high. So, all right. Well, thank you all for being here. It has been a great night, and we'll do it again tomorrow on our July 1st here in the States. So we leave you with
Namaste,
Namaste,
y'all.
y'all.
stay in your hearts and stay blessed. Bye, everybody.
Love you all.
Good
Thank you for
morning,
coming.
good afternoon.